Marianne had always believed in love without conditions. For 15 years, she had stood by Thomas through every challenge, every late night at the office, and every small failure. They had a modest life, full of warmth, laughter, and quiet devotion. Thomas was not a wealthy man, but he was ambitious, and Marianne admired his dreams. She believed in him, even when others doubted. Then one day, Thomas's hard work finally paid off. His startup, which had been teetering on the edge of collapse, secured a major investment. Suddenly, their modest apartment seemed small, and their old car inadequate. Thomas's world expanded at dizzying speed. Invitations to galas, business dinners, and exclusive clubs became a routine part of life. Marianne tried to keep up, but she often felt out of place among Thomas's new circle. It was at one of these exclusive events that Thomas met Elena. She was young, glamorous, and effortlessly sophisticated. She laughed at the right moments, smiled in a way that drew attention, and seemed to belong in the world Thomas now inhabited. Marianne noticed nothing at first, just the fleeting looks, the polite nods, the subtle shift in Thomas's attention. Months passed. Thomas's company soared to unimaginable heights. Marianne tried to celebrate his success, but a quiet unease grew in her chest. Thomas no longer sought her opinions on business, no longer lingered at home in the evenings. The love they had once shared became a background murmur to the rhythm of his high-powered life. Then, one evening, Marianne found the truth. Thomas was leaving, not for work, not for a business opportunity, but for Elena. He told her he had changed, that he deserved someone who matches his new life, someone more elegant, more sophisticated. Marianne's heart broke, not from anger, but from a profound sorrow that felt endless. She begged, pleaded, and reminded him of their years together, but nothing could sway him. Thomas walked out, leaving Marianne with the echoes of their shared life. For a time, Marianne sank into despair. Her friends tried to comfort her, but comfort felt impossible. She returned to work, to old routines, and to herself. Slowly, over months, she rebuilt her life not because she wanted to forget Thomas, but because she realized she had worth independent of him. She reconnected with friends, found joy in small moments, and even laughed again, genuine and full. Meanwhile, Thomas's fortune began to unravel. The business he had built so quickly was fragile. Investors withdrew, deals collapsed, and lawsuits piled up. Elena, who had once dazzled him with her charm, left at the first sign of trouble. She never called, never visited, never asked how he was. Thomas was alone. In his despair, he turned to Marianne. He came to her door, not with gifts or promises, but with a hollow apology. "I was wrong," he said. "I thought money would make everything better, but I see now that I lost what truly mattered. His eyes, once bright with ambition, now held regret and vulnerability. Marianne looked at him, the man she had loved, the man who had left her, and felt the old warmth but tempered with the pain of the past. The days that followed were filled with conversations they had never had before. Thomas admitted his mistakes, the emptiness of his pursuits, and the loneliness that had replaced the glamour he once chased. Marianne listened, her heart torn between the love she had always carried for him and the awareness that she had grown, changed, and survived without him. In the end, Marianne had to decide not for Thomas, but for herself. Love was no longer about forgiveness for the sake of the past. It was about whether trust could be rebuilt and whether her heart could risk being hurt again. She remembered the years of laughter, the quiet nights, the shared dreams, and she remembered the months of abandonment, the silent tears, and the sense that she was once disposable. When she finally spoke, her voice was steady, full of the calm strength she had cultivated during her time apart. I loved you, Thomas. I still care for you. But love isn't enough when respect and loyalty are missing. I cannot just forget the pain you caused me. I cannot promise that things would be the same. Thomas lowered his eyes, understanding dawning on him that love could not simply be reclaimed. It had to be nurtured, earned, and maintained, not bought or assumed. Marianne turned away, but this time with a sense of peace rather than sorrow. She would continue her life, richer not in money, but in the knowledge of her own worth, and the depth of a love that had endured even betrayal. And Thomas? He learned, painfully, that the world he had chased was empty without the people who truly cared. He began rebuilding not just his business, but himself. If Marianne ever chose to forgive, it would be on her terms. But for now, the lesson was clear. True love isn't measured by wealth, status, or convenience. It is measured by presence, loyalty, and the heart that remains when everything else is gone.